Deleted Session, October 13, 1972. Now, a fireside chat. Ralph said, "Okay." They said, "Rupert is beginning to get the picture, as the saying goes. And of course, it is no coincidence that Timothy Foote, being the kind of man he is, came here, and is doing the seagull's story. For he is a kind, well-intended, intelligent man, searching to make sense of the nature of reality by using the yardstick of available beliefs. His kindly inner skepticism is the same as that is within many of the magazine's readers. They will, in course, want to believe Seagull and its story, for example, but they will not come from any homogeneous background of acceptance, necessarily. Do you follow me?" Ralph said, "Yes." They said, an individual who completely accepted what was going on here, and the Seagull without question, could also possess a fervor that would or could overstate the case, rouse instead within people conflicting beliefs. So Timothy's approach is an excellent one. For Timothy individually and personally, what happened here, little as it was, is not only important to him, but in terms of continuity ties in with the earlier Lodi's interest, and picks up a thread that has run throughout his life. He is ready now to go ahead in certain areas. He has always been deeply concerned with the nature of reality, both from an intellectual and emotional standpoint, and where Seagull did not reach him personally. He was fascinated by the phenomena of belief behind it, and then was fascinated by the phenomena of belief behind the Lodi's healings. His intellect, however, leads him to ask questions that are basically intuitive. Seagull does not intellectually reach him. That is, it does not intellectually by itself inspire him, while the phenomena behind it does. This has to do with his personal characteristics and inclinations. It is not meant as a reflection on Seagull, therefore, but on the various ways in which different people will receive such information. All material will give Timothy something to sink his teeth into, in ways that suit his particular fashion. He is playing a part in bringing the message to the people initially in several aspects, in as undistorted a fashion as possible. Do not overlook the Saratoga connections of Timothy or Eleanor. For Rupert, this also provides a sense of continuity that had been lost, and a focus point in his life, a gathering together point most necessary, that will serve to collect and even regenerate his energies. He will be known as an excellent writer in his own right, and as one who produces our material, which he will be in a position to give freely to the world. Take your break. Now, Rupert's psychic abilities, with my help, enable him to fulfill and develop his creative writing abilities. They never were intended to be dropped as far as his person is concerned. Part of our message, of course, involves the use of all abilities, and Rupert's own writing ones serve to make that point. His abilities were not to be merged or to disappear, perhaps into psychic work in those terms. It is true that all spring from the same source, creativity, but the divisions between his personality's use of those abilities and my use of them was not to be broken down. He had to be free to do both. There was a period while he learned to readjust. Of course, he was learning. Your positions are in the process of changing drastically, as mentioned. My material and books, and the rubrics, and your paintings will affect the world as you know it. Through Ruber, there was never an in-between. His characteristics were such that his energy would carry him beyond in all areas, if they carried him at all. This could not happen until all layers of his personality were in line with his activities and developed so that he could handle the ensuing experiences, including the enlargement of your acquaintances. Ralph noted to me, "They said your attitudes had something to do with it. But there is also an inner harmony, in that events happen when they are ready. Your living artistic was also an element. Otherwise, your attention would have been too divided. The message is now clear enough and securely enough established, so that it can ring out freely. Illness and Richard's acceptance of Ruber and of all his abilities was important also. I told you that your own work would show greater development, and so it will. And in its own way, it will also deliver the same message, and there will be a gallery connection for you. Each of you are playing parts that you accepted. Richard, Eleanor, Tan, Timothy, and yourselves, each taking the roles that you can do best, and developing your own potential in so doing. And our book will really take off, and that is all I will tell you now." Ralph said, "Thank you." They said, "And our friend," Ralph noted. Timothy felt. They said, "We'll be back with a recorder." Give us a moment. A postscript. It is for Timothy's daughter, or rather it is to Timothy about his daughter's request. Let me begin humorously by saying, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. In the same way, yes, there is a God. The earth emerges. It is given like a gift to you at your birth. It is there, then, like Santa Claus toys when you were a child. You ask, who is the giver? The child accepts the Santa Claus answer for some years, and then becomes disillusioned, realizing that the Santa Claus of Christmas tales is a myth. So, in many ways, the stories of a god are myths. But you are still left with a bag of toys on one hand, and the luxurious earth on the other. So the question still remains. My answer is that the myths in their own way try to hint at answers that are basically non-verbal, and at concepts that are themselves the fountainhead from which the earth and all existence springs. Is there a God? Or is there a being? Or a source behind all reality? You know the answer as well as anyone else does. You are as alive and aware as anyone else, and the secrets of your being are also the secrets of being. You must look within yourself then, for in the last analysis, the beginning and the source of creativity and being reside in each individual consciousness, in the same way that each tree contains its own seed. So it is to the seed of your own knowing that you must look for such answers. It is only because you tell yourself that you do not know the answers that they seem unavailable. This is very briefly the beginning of an answer to a question that of itself initiates other questions, answered in your own mind. Your concern with it, the question, is quite practical, whether you know it or not, because your ideas about the nature of reality will color all of your actions within physical experience. And that is the end. Rob said, "Thank you very much, Seth. That was very nice." They said, "Now I will let our friend here take a rest